Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's on First the show, and today, who do I got for you? I got Nathan, and he is part of the Baseball Seams Company, making these beautiful art pieces. And Nathan, go ahead and introduce yourself. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Robert. Appreciate it. Yeah, Nathan Rickert with the Baseball Seams Company, coming to you from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's
Okay.
where our headquarters is. But yeah, we take old tattered baseballs and turn them into new creations. Everything from little keychains and bracelets and accessories to high-end, unique and meaningful artwork. And been doing it 24 years. It's my full-time job now, and we go through thousands and thousands of balls a year, just turning them into new creations. It's a lot of fun.
All right. I mean, so you take something that's beat up, tattered. I have a baseball here. I mean, to some people, this baseball here, this thing is it's no good. It's dry, it's hard, stitches a little cracked. But then you take this and you turn it into a piece of art. I mean, how do you what gave you that inspiration?
Great question. Sometimes I don't even know how this all came to be. But I my backstory is, I grew up around the game since I was four, as far back as I can remember. So my love of baseball started with my dad playing catch in the yard, t-ball, all the way through college. I was a D2 uh, southpaw reliever for Truman State in Missouri, northeastern Missouri, in the early 2000s, and so uh, played the game a long time, and it was when I was at Truman half my life ago when I had this idea to turn a couple old baseballs into an American flag. So it was the time frame, it was right after 9/11 happened, so obviously flags were everywhere. Patriotism was at an all-time high. And the timing of that, I think, is no coincidence that uh, idea came into my head. But I took a few old tattered baseballs from practice, just ones that, like you had, just old beat up
Yeah.
baseballs, stripped them with an X-Acto knife, turned them into strips and leather, and then just started tearing them apart. And the first one I ever made, actually got a picture of it here for you. Uh, Called it America's Game. The blue piece is actually a piece of blue baseball
Right.
jersey mesh that I took from an old high school jersey. But created it. It was just an idea to just combine my love for baseball in America, and it quickly turned into a lot more than that. A lot of people wanted one right away. I was, like I said, a junior in college, just a college kid trying to get an accounting degree at Truman State, and my landlord would saw it and he was like, "I want 16 of them for Christmas gifts." I was like, "Oh wow, okay, I better get cutting here." But long story short, within 6 months, I was selling product to the Baseball Hall of Fame out in Cooperstown. Got the image in front of them. I put it on T-shirts and prints and sold the artwork. And so long before e-commerce and Facebook and uh, I was in their print catalog for several years. While coming right out of college. And so it just was like a dream come true right away, just as a college kid, loving the game, to have something that I actually made with my bare hands be sold in, one of the most prestigious places of where baseball can be seen. Like it was just a dream come true right away for what I was doing. So I started a business and a website called Baseball Seams Co. And it just quickly kind of took off from there.
Okay. I mean, so you're basically doing with the baseball what the Japanese do with a ball. They I know they're very with their very porcelain bowls and stuff like that. If they break a bowl, it's not an anger moment. It's a celebration, and they call it kitsugi. And
Mm.
they take a bowl that's broken, and they take it to someone who specializes in this, and they put it back together. And inside the cracks, they layer gold inside of it. And that's what you're doing. You're taking something that, some people would say, hey, this thing's garbage. We're not playing with this. And then you're taking it, and that tattered, torn, beat up baseball gets new life,
Hmm.
and it turns into something precious, something more valuable.
That and there's something beautiful about that. And for a long time when I was making artwork, I didn't have a mission statement. I didn't have any kind of, catchy, my slogan, if you will, for my company was baseball is more than just a game. And the imagery that you're bringing out here is a lot of that. Like people see the old, tattered and worn, waterlogged baseballs, the grass stains, and it brings them back to memories of the past. It brings them back to the nostalgia of the game, and there's something about baseball with that. But there's also, you know, baseball is a game of failure, and the Hall of Famers fail 7 times out of 10 and still have that 300 average. And I think there's something about failing that people really resonate with. That's where we learn so much as humans, as people, as ball players, in the failure. And so when you look at the tattered seams, you think of failure. You look at the old waterlogged baseballs that people just want to throw away. I think what resonates with a lot of people with my artwork is they see themselves in the artwork. They see themselves in the tears and the tatters, and life kind of leaves you, you know, uh, tattered at the seams sometimes. But you can there's learning opportunities and experiences from those wears and tears that mold us into new creations.
Absolutely. And
All right,
so,
hold on.
do you see yourself as an artist? I mean, do you put yourself in that category as an artist? And do you see things differently sometimes? Because I know when I look at baseballs and I look at baseball bats and the field, I'm constantly seeing something I haven't seen before. I think of it differently than other people think of it. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, originally I wouldn't say, I mean, I wouldn't have called myself an artist. I was an accounting major, so like accountants aren't really supposed to be creative. The number crunching, analytical side of the brain is different than the creative side of the brain, and most creative accountants end up in prison, I think. But like for me, it was more, yeah, it was just like a natural outflowing of like storytelling. So I kind of consider myself a storyteller through art, more than an artist, where what I love doing is taking old tattered baseballs that, for example, customers will send me baseballs that their kids use playing up or growing up, or there's a lot of tragic situations where people pass away and they want to remember their loved ones in a unique and meaningful way, and so they'll send me baseballs, and I'm able to tell their story visually through these old baseballs turned into something new, whether it's American flags or hearts or crosses or team logos. There's all kinds of different artwork that I'll put together for people. But it's a way to honor people. It's a way to remember the love of the game, the love you have for other people. So yeah, I mean, long way of answering your question. Yeah, I do see myself as an artist, expressing my passion for the game in unique ways, and also giving other people an opportunity to share their passion with other people too in unique ways.
Okay. I mean, is there anything like what was the one moment where somebody said, "Hey, can you do this?" And you go, "Wow, I never thought of that." And then you sit there and you go, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this and this and this," and they go, "Oh, wow, you did it 10 times better than I thought it was gonna come out." Did you ever have that kind of moment?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do custom commissioned work all the time for people. So one piece that comes to mind, it was actually a collaborative piece of art that a couple years ago that I actually made a 3 foot wide American flag out of about 100 old baseballs. And what made it special and meaningful was that the event I was in Omaha Baseball Village for during the College World Series, the NCAA College World Series. Omaha Baseball Village right outside the stadium. And so I was creating this massive 3 foot wide American flag out of 100 baseballs. I had everything pre-cut and everything, but I let everybody that was walking by put a piece in, put a little piece of red seams in, another piece of red seams in. And so what you had is like, I called it America's flag, but it was America's flag made by America. And so when you think about the game of baseball, everybody kind of that walked by put a little piece in. It was like a collaborative piece of artwork made by everybody there, to be able to like be shown and appreciated. And so it actually hangs in Omaha Baseball Village still to this day, and something that they kind of like just hang annually during the event every June. So that's one thing. I've had some crazy things happen. Like I've had coaches be want to be buried with a piece of my artwork when they pass away. That's just mind blowing. I've had, like I said, some tragic situations where College kids pass away from different circumstances, and so I'll create things for funerals. And so the art just resonates with people in deep ways. I've had people want to put crosses made out of baseball seams on tombstones before, like mount them on tombstones. And so like it's real humbling to be able to like create something that is super meaningful for people that they can appreciate and like I said, connect them to the game and um, in unique ways.
Yeah, I mean, keep being connected to the game, being connected to America. I mean, this is something that the game is amazing, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year. We're going more international now. They're going into Europe and stuff like that. So, I mean, what is who's the biggest person you've ever talked to? Like they say, hey, they call you out of nowhere and say, hey, Nate, we want you to do, XYZ, and you're like, is this like the Major League Baseball commissioner? I mean, who have you gotten to meet doing all this stuff?
Uh, one example that comes to mind was when I was back in college still, I had a White House staffer that worked at the time with George W. Bush. And they were looking for a gift for President Bush for President's Day. So this would have been 2003, while he was still in office. And so they gave me 2 weeks notice. I was able to make an American flag for him. Sent they at the time, if you remember, after 9/11, there's all kinds of crazy anthrax stuff and anthrax scares and stuff you had to do. Basically, like a lot of the post office stuff was all delayed, and so they gave me real specific instructions to mail it in a way that it's going to get through to the White House and all that. And so I got a nice note after the fact, like a thank you note, and so I mean that's a big honor, regardless of politics, like just to have a president. Um, I don't know where he has it hanging right now, but have a piece of my work. That's real cool. I don't. There's some major leaguers and stuff I've been able to talk to and interact with. And most of it's people that know them that'll buy it for them as a gift or something. So I don't have a whole lot of personal interaction with, people that quote unquote famous people, I guess. But I know there's a lot of, I grew up in St. Louis, so there's quite a few. I know Jack Buck before he passed away had a piece. Albert Pujols' lawyer gave him a piece.
Wow.
So there's like, I don't know where any of this is. I just love putting my art out there, letting people appreciate it and hang it wherever it is. And yeah, it's a joy to do it.
So, I mean, like, who would you like to meet? If anybody comes to mind, who would you like to say, hey, I want to give you this and meet them and talk to them? Who would you like to do that to?
Well, I'll tell you, I'd love to meet Jesse Cole. I know, your work with the bananas. Like when I see him, I admire him so much for, like and on a much lesser scale, I see myself in him the way he dreams up these imaginative, creative ideas and ways of expression that bring people together. That's what baseball is. It's a way that brings people together. It unites people, and what he's doing with Banana Ball is just absolutely insane. And I have a deep admiration for what he's doing, just his creative processes for bringing out, the love of the game. And obviously banana ball is a little different than baseball, but it's like, it's bringing out that love that brings families together and around the ballpark. I just have a great deal of respect for that.
All right, all right. I mean, for me, a baseball, it's one of those things that you can get at a ballpark, and every time I see these kids going crazy, I want a baseball, I want a baseball, I want a baseball. And then I saw your stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really doing some wild stuff with this stuff. And you don't think about it. A lot of these kids. I had a situation. I was in a park, and there was a young man there, and he had about four baseballs, 4 or 5 baseballs, and he was leaving the park, and he was upset because he had lost a baseball, and he was really really upset, and he was crying to his mom, and they were looking, and I was searching for him, and I felt bad. And at one point I turned around and I said, listen, there's no way, I don't, nobody knows where this baseball is, but you know what, I always have a little bag of baseballs in my car. And I went and I got him a baseball and I gave it to him, and he looked at it like he was like, it was like, whoa, and like little shiny, and he was just like, and he's walking back to the car, he's like, whoa, this is better than the one I lost.
That's awesome.
And to put a smile on a kid's face with the baseball, and I see these kids at the stadiums, I see them at the fields I was just in Tampa, and these kids are just waving at the players for a baseball. And it's that one little piece that somebody can take home and they write on it. It's always nice to have a see. I have a cold collection of baseballs. I have a oh my god. If I have I'm playing, it's like a booby trapped. If I play like Jenga with baseballs around in my house. So yeah, it's amazing. So I mean, where do you get all these baseballs? Like, do people just donate it to you? Do you go buy them? Do you how does that go about?
I buy them. So I buy the old tattered baseballs coaches want to throw away anyway. And so they got me after doing this 20 years, like, I'm on speed dial all these coaches like after every season they want to send me their baseballs, but yeah, I mean for doing this 2 decades, I have a lot of coaches every year that I reach out to. Here in Sioux Falls, we have 2 colleges, so I always get their old baseballs, a few high schools, but I also have a few minor league coaches that I have contacts with. So all in all levels of play, we go through eight or 9,000 balls a year. I have a team of people that cut them up. I have a team of makers that kind of help make everything. And so at this point, it started with me in my basement, just cutting baseballs myself and doing it, making the American flags, and it's
Mhm.
morphed into a kind of a whole manufacturing enterprise, all based here in the Midwest, where we're a team of people that uh, make unique and meaningful things out of these old tattered baseballs.
I mean, so where do you see this company in about 5, 10 years? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I just quit my day job 3 years ago. That's like vocation is kind of something that I've always struggled with. Like I said, I went to school for accounting, started out CPA, started out in public accounting, doing all kinds of great work for an auditing firm. Worked in financial services industry for a good decade while doing baseball seams co, but it just got to a point where baseball seems co just kept growing and things kept snowballing to a point where I just made a leap of faith and said, "All right, God, if you want me to do this, like this business has to double and provide for my family. I'm married with 3 little daughters that are kind of my world. And so like, all right, like if I'm going to quit this steady job with a nice cushy 401k and all that, all the benefits, then I'm just going to make a leap of faith and trust God to provide. And so that's what he's done. Like I quit my day job 3 years ago. The business doubled in sales like what it needed to provide for my family. And so I'm not this I don't feel like I'm striving to be some sort of multimillionaire cutting up baseballs. I'm just real happy to be doing this just for my vocation and kind of glorify God through it. And I see a lot of imagery with what I do with what God does in us. And so, yeah, I mean, 5 years from now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still doing this. There's a lot of opportunities. I think I could still have room to explore with licensing and getting involved with a few different organizations. I think there's more room to grow just on the wholesale channel. Like right now, most of my sales are direct to consumer with through my website and Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, those kind of platforms. But there's a lot of different places across the country that I think could really enjoy selling these products. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. Um, it's been a blast so far, and every year I come up with new ideas, and this year more than others, I've been collaborating with other makers and creatives. For example, there's a family-owned carpentry business in Fort Worth, Texas, that takes broken baseball bats for me and turns them into Christmas ornaments and wood pens. They're actually writing with a baseball bat wood from in a pen. And so constantly kind of like pushing the envelope with creative ideas and just seeing where those ideas land. And so that's kind of where my passion is I just love creating new things and bringing them to market and dreaming up new ideas and then just trying to figure out, how do we make it happen and seeing how people react to it.
Okay. I mean, and do you connect your faith with baseball? Is there anything ever connect? Yeah, you're already shaking your head. What's that one thing that connects baseball with your faith?
Yeah, so like I said, like for a long time, baseball seems to go just had a slogan like baseball's more than a game. And so the longer I did it, the longer I realized that the I mean, there's a few different things that, few different like channels that people resonate with baseball. Like there's the patriotism channel that people just love that connection with baseball in America. There's um, kind of like baseball and the connected with the person that you love that maybe connected you to the game. That's like that deep heart sentiment where it's like that father son connection or mother daughter connection or whatever it is. But then there's also this faith component that I really have leaned into and started exploring a lot more with my business. So, several years back, I went to a conference here in Sioux Falls. It was called the God as CEO conference. And so they really kind of emphasize the need to, if you're a man of faith and, you want to glorify God, like put him in your mission statement and let him be the CEO of your company. And so I kind of view Baseball Seems Co. as more of a something that I'm a manager of, that God's given me, even though I'm a founder and owner, like really I'm more of a steward of of this idea he's given me. And so my question that I ask myself is how can I best be a steward of what he's given me? And so one way that I kind of that helps me focus is I put God in my mission statement for my business, which is uncommon for a lot of marketplace businesses. But so my mission statement is we exist to glorify God and reflect his love by connecting people by creating unique and meaningful products that connect people and transform relationships through the platform of baseball. So everything we do it in a unique and meaningful way. We try to storytell and connect people to the love of the game, but we do it intentionally in a way that really kind of glorifies God. And the way I see that happen is, these old tattered seams, like we've been talking about, like sometimes life leaves us tattered and looking worn and forgotten, and people abandon us and people leave us in the dust. But through Jesus, we're made into new creations. And so, visually, my cross artwork, that's one of my top sellers. We put Bible verses underneath. People really resonate with that sentiment when they see the old tattered baseballs and the crosses. But it's just something like when you're an artist, one of the things that people really appreciate about artists is like what's your passion behind it. And it took me a long time to realize what is that what it exactly is the passion. And the more I thought about it, it's really my faith that drives uh is kind of the engine behind why I'm doing what I'm doing and kind of gets me up and gets me going each day. So yeah, definitely passionate about that.
Yeah, I share something like that. Like I tell my kids, you guys have God has given you gifts. My daughter's a heck of an artist, and my son is very musically inclined. He can play bass, guitar, electric guitar, acoustic, whatever you want. He has a what is it? He has a ukulele. He has a banjo. He was looking into violin. He was looking into drums. No lessons. Never took a lesson. Just 3 days. He said he wanted a guitar. 3 days later, he was playing Smoke on the Water. And I was
Hmm.
just like, oh, wow. It's just, it's amazing. But I tell people, your gifts are not for you. Your gifts are for the world. And
Hmm.
through God, you will share it with the world. And my gift is I love baseball and I love to share baseball stories and moments and stuff like that. And every time we go to a baseball game, I tell my son, hey, look, this happened and that happened. And look at that. I've never seen that before. Every game I go to, something I've never seen always happens. So
Hmm.
it's amazing. It's amazing. And the so I tell everybody, I said, how do you know that baseball is God's favorite sport? He says it in the Bible in the first paragraph, in the beginning. So
Yep.
that's God's favorite sport.
Yep. In the big inning.
In the beginning.
Yep, I've heard that one.
Yeah, and
That's good.
it's and and then numbers for me is another big one. So for me the number 21 is big. I'm a big Clemente fan. So 21 and after I came out of umpire school in 2003, I told my mom, I said one day you're going to see me on a major league field. And the Bananas helped me fulfill that dream. And I was
Hmm.
at Lone Depot Park and I got my mom on the field. I took a picture with her and she started crying. And
Hmm.
you said it. You said it. You don't know how you was gonna do it, but you was gonna get on the major league field one day. I said I did. And it took me 21 years. And it happened on October 12th, 12 being 21 backwards. I went through a back way onto a major league field.
Hmm.
So keep the faith, and that's my slogan. Keep swinging, keep going at it, and get out there and keep going because like those baseballs, had these baseballs been thrown away, they'd be in a landfill somewhere. But you're
Hmm.
taking these and you're repurposing them and you're making them life, giving them purpose all over again, just like a person who's been addicted to drugs or alcohol, that has depression, that has 10,000 tattoos. There is people out there that I seen a guy and he was full tattooed and was getting baptized, and they said, "Why do you want to get baptized?" He goes, "Because in my former life I was a piece of crap."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Whoa!" And like, you never think of it like that. But once he got baptized, he was given his life to Christ, and it's always a beautiful thing. Well, I mean, so where if somebody wants to get one of these beautiful art pieces of yours, well, I mean, what are we talking about cost now? How much is it? How much are these bad boys?
Yeah, I mean, the cost, I do art of like all kinds of different sizes. So like a small 8x8 or 8x10 piece of artwork, you're looking at a little over $100 or so. Each one's hand signed, and like the America's game pieces are individually numbered, the flags. But like I make 3 foot wide pieces that go all the way up to like $2,000. And so I have a few standard offerings I offer on the website, baseballseamsco.com. You can also follow on Instagram and Facebook. The handle is Baseball Seams Co. But I also do a lot of custom stuff too. So I don't charge any extra. If you have your own baseballs that you want to send in for a project, I don't charge any extra. I'll set those aside and use those for the project. So yeah, and so I do a lot of uniform number artwork, like you're talking about 21. Like I'll
Yeah.
do uniform number artwork and do it matted in team colors. I can frame photographs alongside like a piece of artwork to kind of bring out that. It's a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of different things. It just depends on kind of how crazy you want to get with the framing and the matting and that kind of thing. But I can work with people on that.
All right. Well, there you are, man. That's amazing. Listen, I appreciate you taking out your time today. I don't want to hold you anymore up. But yeah, it was I saw you and I was like, man, I got to get this guy on the show, and boom, you came out of nowhere.
I'll end here. I'll show you a piece I made for you. I'm going to send it here.
Okay.
I took a few banana balls.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Wait,
blurring out on this here. But
wait,
yeah,
you
a
made it for
homemade
me?
man out of a few banana balls here. So I just cut some of the pieces of it into it. But yeah, so I do softball artwork too for people that have kind of blended families, the baseball and the softball love. And but yeah, it's
That's that I appreciate that looks great. Banana ball. Wow. That's it's amazing. The way bananas are, it's it's wild.
yeah, it's nuts.
Well, listen, Nate, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. All right, so guys, if you want to get a piece of this Nate's artwork, he's putting his love, his sweat, and a little religion in there for you, and that's okay. Everybody got to need a little God in your life. Everybody needs it. And I appreciate you being on, and I wish you luck, and I hope this goes really big for you and viral. Everybody go out there, let's support them. And it's where were they going again?
Baseballseamsco.com.
There you go. All right. As we say, guys, here on Who's On First, remember, what do? Keep swinging.
If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?